traditional way is paper. It has been for a long time now. But we're in the 21st century. There's got to be a better way. Technology has advanced quite considerably. Even in the last 5 to 10 years, we have more iPads than ever before, more phones than we ever need. So, with student pilots being younger and more technologically advanced, with the ability to run products like this for longer periods of time in more locations and faster, is this the answer to the future? Or is it the answer to now? The paper system works, but so does technology. So should a paper-based system still exist? At a quick glance, you realise that the Apple Gen 7 has a few key changes since the Generation 6. 1, it is thicker, therefore easier to hold. 2, and quite noticeably, it's a lot bigger. Its predecessor, the Generation 6, had a 9.7 inch screen, 10.2 inches, which is 5 inches bigger than the last iPads. The iPad Gen 7 shares most of its features and spec lists from Generation 6, its predecessor, which was the iPad for everyone, as they called it. You'll find the same A10 processor, a 4-core A10 processor that is. It'll either support a 32 or 120 gig. I suggest bigger is better when it comes to iPads for student pilots. More for the fact that you need to run more applications with bigger data downloads like your electronic flight bags. Unsurprisingly, there is 2 cameras found on this iPad like most Apple products. The 8 megapixel camera on the back, which is good for recording things like damage found in pre-flight, tacho times, hob times, logbook photos if you need them. The 1.2 on the front for FaceTiming, I don't recommend that while flying. Unlike most Apple products, you can dual listen and charge your iPad at the same time, which is handy, not when you're so much in the cockpit, but just in general use of the iPad. You can charge it while in flight, and when you're done, listen to some tunes to relax. The 10.2 inch, which is the key feature of the new Generation 7, supports the Apple Pencil Gen 1, which is good for when you're in cockpit. You can write down your clearances, and also you can jot notes while you're doing your theory courses, pre-planning and checklists. With the new iPad, you get a great looking home screen that is now more like a desktop thanks to the left side widgetized panel, allowing you to see more flights you have upcoming on your calendar, weather, checklists, amongst other things you require. It's on the left in the widgetized format now. You can swipe an app into the left or right hand side, have one hovering over another app, which is good for when you want to make notes while doing flight planning, or in some cases have your IAP open, your flight planning software, and a notepad on top of that, which works really well when it comes to flight planning as a student pilot. The Generation 7 iPad has the new smart keyboard connector, which is a series of 3 dots found on the bottom edge that work like magnets in the side of a tablet to hold the smart keyboard cover, much like it does on the iPad Pro, which is probably a bit excessive for a student pilot at this stage. When you're in doing theory courses, you can use your iPad to take down notes, also note down some checklists, and also make sure you have all your planning done. Next is performance. Although the A10 processor is a little on the old side, it's still definitely more capable with solid performance for many of the apps you'll throw the iPad's way. Using electronic flight bags in flight takes quite a bit of memory but the A10 processor handles it quite well. The battery life is one part of this iPad that is worth talking about. On a good day, you'll find that a fully charged iPad will be able to run your electronic flight bag for quite a considerable time, probably longer than you'll find you'll be able to do a Nflight 4. Having so many apps open and running, it will still handle it quite well and won't drain the battery quite quickly, even with an electronic flight bag open in flight. There is one, however, feature of the iPad that I would like to see, but probably is good they don't have it, is water resistance. As a student pilot, you'll have your iPad, you'll put it on wings, you'll put it on seats, you'll put it down on the ground. Thankfully, as a student pilot, you can buy things like otter boxes, tough cases to use with your iPad, so you can get some sort of resistance to the elements that you'll be using them in. Because when you put them down to check your fuel levels, or when you put it on the ground while you're unlocking your plane, you'll find that it may be damp, dirty, or wet. It's best not to keep it out of some sort of tough box, which you may have to use to survive what you will use as a student pilot. The solid performance that you get out of this A10 processor, along with the keyboard for when you're doing your pre-flight briefings, when you're doing your flight planning, and then when you're in flight using your Apple Pencil to write down clearances or notes, is amazing with using this Generation 7 iPad. And then on top of that, the battery life, which will get you through most of your nav flights, which are anywhere from 2 to 3 hours or longer if you're hour building. So the battery life is definitely something that is an excellent feature about this Generation 7 iPad. The price for this iPad is quite reasonable for what you need as a student pilot. There's no need to go out and buy the Apple iPad Pro just to run your electronic flight bags. You won't gain any benefit out of getting a faster or better iPad. What you do need is the cellular function. If you're thinking about purchasing, make sure you have that Wi-Fi and cellular ability of your iPads, due to the fact you need the GPS which goes with it. So as I said, this Apple 10.2 inch Generation 7 is all you need as a student pilot, and I highly recommend incorporating your iPad into your flight training. Always check with your flight instructor whether they are happy to incorporate technology like the iPad or any tablet into your flight training before you go ahead and bring it in. Sometimes it is best to learn the old way before learning the new way, so you understand why your electronic flight bag is giving you the numbers and data that it's giving you in case this fails. Technology is advancing so much as applications are talking to your plane. The Garmin systems, for example, all you have to do is create a pre-flight, hit a button, transfer it into the plane's Garmin system, and it'll already be there for you. Technology is saving you time and money, so you don't have to sit there and program while your engine is running into the Garmin systems, where you can pre-program into apps these days. Yes, technology is saving us time and money. However, it is good to know the basics behind why your electronic flight bags, why your flight computers are doing what they're doing, and how they're getting that information. Pre-planning before we get to the flight school or in the plane, you still have to know the basics of navigation and also what happens when this technology fails and all you have is your paper. Always speak to your flight instructor about introducing technology into your flight training, and find out when the best time for you and your instructor is to bring technology into
You're one and only.